Hi guys, so today I want to talk about the simp economy, and I want to refer to one chapter of the two-body problem. This is one of the chapters that we have in the two-body problem. So the simp economy, of course you know what simping is, and for those who don't know what simping is an unequal exchange of value. And for our context, it's a situation where a man is giving either more than he needs to, or the exchange. We normally say that relationships are where value is exchanged between two people. So where the man is not getting a reciprocity or appreciation of whatever it is that he's offering. And further now, what we're going to look at is how the current social order, the gynocentric social order, actually devalues men. Okay? So this book, by the way, the subtitle is Power Dynamics and Gender Role Inversion. So we are talking about the inversion of power in the society today. And most of the society that we live in, most of it is westernized. It's influenced by the American, the British culture, which is very gynocentric. Okay? So I'm going to read one of the passages. Modern Western society has programmed men to serve, idolize, and emotionally pedestalize women, an inversion of natural dynamics that erodes masculine authority and fosters disrespect. Okay? So we are talking about erosion of masculine authority and fostering of disrespect. And this is against what we learned from scholars like David Bass, the author of Evolutionary Psychology. David Bass actually says in The Evolution of Desire, so not Evolution of Psychology. In The Evolution of Desire, David Bass says that respect is reserved for men who command it, not for men who beg for it. The gynocentric social order actually tells you that women like men who are nice, okay? Women like nice guys. And when you speak to most women, they'll tell you, I want a guy who is nice. I want a guy who is nice to me. And most of us, when you grow up, we grow up thinking that the way to get a girl is by being a nice guy, a guy who says yes, a guy who is not difficult, a guy who is compliant to her wishes, and so on and so forth, and sets us up for failure. Those who've read Unplugged, particularly Unplugged 3, where I talk about the dark triad personality, and I give examples of both the dark triad personality and even ibistrophilia. We have cases like the South African case where a female prison warden actually helped a prisoner escape and to start a relationship with him. So we talk about the dark triad personality. When we talk about this, what we mean is that women like men who embody the dark triad personality. Actually, I think now there are 4. They've been upgraded to 4. Machiavellianism, narcissism, and psychopathy. Most men who have these personalities actually tend to be very successful in life. They're CEOs, they're politicians, they're billionaires, and so on. If you look at people like Elon Musk and even Donald Trump, you must be capable of making your goal or your purpose the single most important thing in your life for you to be successful. And that takes a level of Machiavellianism and even narcissism, okay? So those are the dark triad personalities, and that is the opposite actually of nice. So I'm going to read on. This cultural programming has created an epidemic of nice guys who thinking love is earned through deference and obedience, they end up being discarded or overlooked. It is not kindness that repels women. It is neediness and excess availability, the psychological signals of a man who lacks value. Okay? So that's one of the things that society does not teach men, and that's where I think Unplugged became a thing for men, because many men grew up thinking that deferring to women is what women want and is what works, makes relationships work. But it's actually the opposite. Women actually prefer men who put their purposes first, and women don't want to be the center of your life. They want to come and fit into a life that is already in shape, that is already going on. It's like they want to be a passenger of a train. They don't want to be the driver. So that is very, very important. Now, we want to now discuss how hypergamy fits into this new social order where the simp economy is the one that is being championed. So we know that hypergamy is female, the women's evolutionary tendency to look for men who are of higher status than themselves. Higher status, strength, education, earning, everything above them. Okay? So the Pew research actually found that majority of women will not date a man who earns less than they do, while 86% of men are open to dating women with a lower income. We know very well that there are many CEOs, of male CEOs that is, who don't mind marrying a bartender, a secretary, a woman that is of a lower class than themselves. But the opposite is the case when you look at female CEOs. Female CEOs either want men who are at their level or higher. And of course, most cases where men are at their level, they are frustrated. Cases like A$AP Rocky and Rihanna, for example, are some of the exceptions that we have in the society. But even when you look at it, A$AP Rocky is very, very successful. So to read more, there's a scholar called Roy Baumeister. He did a cross-cultural meta-analysis, and it reveals that this pattern is nearly universal. Female nature selection is hypergamous by default, while male mate selection is opportunistic. Okay? So many men, opportunistic here just means that a man is going to look at what is available, okay, the opportunity that is there. A woman is going to look at both opportunities and is going to, it has to meet her hypergamy imperatives for her to find a man to be suitable. In today's digital sexual marketplace, women have access to unfiltered male attention 24/7, Instagram and so on. The average woman's smartphone is a harem-building device filled with messages, likes, and offers from men willing to offer attention for free. As a result, attention from the average man becomes devalued currency. The simping economy is in full swing. So we normally say that an average woman does not want an average man. Because of hypergamy, even an average woman wants a man that is higher than average or higher than herself. And at the same time, we also know that because of social media, women just need to post a thirst trap or even a sad message. It doesn't have to be a thirst trap. A woman can just post that she's feeling low today, and men are going to swarm into her inbox asking, are you okay? Do you need this? Do you need that? Can I do this? Can I call you? This happens to many women, and because of this, they are flooded by attention. Many men are making proposals to them, and this is what has devalued the attention of men. There was somebody who posted a video on YouTube, an old white man, not old, okay, middle-aged white man, taking a walk with a dog in the forest. And this man explained why men are simping. According to him, one of the things that women have done is many men take care of rent. You pay school fees, you do the shopping, you pay the bills, you make sure the car is fuel and so on. Many women have made many men feel that that is just a basic bare minimum, and it is not something that is worthy of appreciation. Women now want more. It's not enough to provide. You need to take her for a holiday, okay? You need to take care of her nails, her hair, all her bills for her hair. You need to make sure that she has an allowance, a monthly allowance. You need to make sure that she is able to join the girls' clubs, and you fund her contributions for her if it's a chama and so on. Because of this high threshold that women have placed for men, many men are forced to simp. So men are forced to do more than just the average or just the necessary. Now they have to do more in order for women to appreciate them. So I noted in Unplugged 5, sorry, that is operant conditioning. What is abundant loses value, just as inflated currency loses purchasing power. So too does male attention when it flows indiscriminately. So when so many men are giving women attention on social media, male attention is no longer valuable. Supply and demand. When anything is in huge supply, it loses value. And this also happens back at home. A woman who gets a lot of attention on social media, she's not going to value the attention that she's getting from her husband, because the attention she's getting from men is already in overabundance. And this is one of the reasons why many men are finding themselves simping. So and that's one reason why I don't encourage men to follow women who don't follow them, particularly women celebrities, the ones who are socialites, slay queens, and so on. The more you follow them, the more they devalue, you become more invisible, and you're also wasting time just chasing their thirst traps, because they'll never even see you. You don't have the kind of money that they're asking for, they are looking for. The kind of people who can afford them are politicians, very, very rich men. If you're a young guy trying to make your way through life, don't follow these women, don't pay attention to them. Now, when do men become consumers of validation? So simping is not just a harmless gesture of affection. It is a strategic blunder in a sexual economy governed by dominance, scarcity, and asymmetric power. Okay? So it is, I'm going to repeat that, it's a strategic blunder when you simp, because the sexual economy is actually governed by dominance, scarcity, and asymmetrical power. According to the digital market data, simps spend an average of $437 per month. Okay? That is on parasocial attention through platforms like OnlyFans and TikTok. This is data from the US Bureau of Labor Statistics in 2024. In return, what do these guys receive? They receive emotional breadcrumbs, emojis, brief voice notes, and polite contempt. So we have so many guys on OnlyFans right now. Many women are rich just by being on OnlyFans. And if you're a woman who wants to become rich quickly, join OnlyFans. There are so many simps who are willing to just pay money to look at you, to listen to you, for you to blow for them a kiss, and maybe just show them your cleavage. There are many men who are willing to pay for that. So what do these guys receive? They just receive, according to the US Bureau of Labor Statistics, they receive emotional breadcrumbs, emojis, and brief voice notes and polite contempt. What do the women receive? The women, on the other hand, tallies each simp as an asset on an internal ledger. So the more followers she has, the more admiration she has, the more validation she gets. The men who follow these women are not seen as sweeters, but they are seen as proof of the women's market value. So for example, if you're following a married woman, she goes back home, she has a lot of contempt for the husband because she feels her market value has increased. It actually inflates their ego and inflates their market value. The more these simps bid, the more their worth depreciates. There are researchers called Daly and Wesson in 1999 who say that female attraction is calibrated to status cues, not kindness coupons. Okay? So when you're following her, those are status quo. That's why we normally say attention is like crack for most women. Many women who have hundreds of thousands of followers really struggle to settle into relationships, because the dopamine hit they get from this attention, it is really just like a drug, literally like a drug for most women. So that is something that men need to bear in mind. So how do you deal with this? Okay? If you're a man who is getting, who is dealing with a woman with this kind of attention. So the corrective action is not persuasion and it is not pleading, but structural withdrawal. Okay? Robert Glover, who wrote the book titled No More Mr. Nice Guy, it was published in 2003. He calls this strategic withdrawal, abandoning of the covert contract. Many men are in trouble because of what we call the covert contract. And the covert contract, it is born from male or men's innate code of honor. Men normally assume that because you are nice to somebody, they're going to be nice to you. Okay? That's what we call the covert contract. So Robert Glover says that it's a fantasy that by being nice, a man is going to earn love. Okay? You think if you give a woman attention, if you do what we call Captain Save a Hoe, or you become, you save the damsel in distress, then this damsel is going to offer herself for you, or she's going to love you. It does not work like that. What you need to do instead is that a man must enter the real economy of earned regard based on personal excellence, not supplication. Because supplication actually is what many men are doing when you're simping, when you're sending her flowers. We see so many men nowadays who arrange currency or notes in form of a flower pattern, a huge bouquet you give a woman for her birthday. That is simping. Because those women don't do that for you. Remember, when you're in a relationship with a woman, it's about exchange of value. If you're going to do that for her and she does not do it in return, then you're actually simping. If you're doing more than your partner or your woman is doing, that is simping. And simping basically raises contempt for women, because when you're simping to a woman, you're showing that she's of higher value than you're supplicating to her. You feel lucky to be with her. A woman wants to be with a man that she actually feels lucky to be with. Women want to be the adorer, not the adored. I think Psychax did a very good video about that. You can look for it if you're interested. Esther Perel, I think Esther Perel wrote a book called Mating in Captivity. He notes that erotic desire is often born of distance, not closeness. When you make yourself available and you're supplicating and worshiping the floor she walks on, then you're actually killing erotic desire. He says that absence creates value. She says absence creates value. When a man diverts time from digital courtship into muscle, wealth, and social capital, he becomes scarce by construction. As we normally say in Kenya, ijipe shughuli. You're supposed to be working on building the best version of yourself. So you get in good shape, make money, be a better communicator, dress better, work on your confidence, and work on your social skills. That is what is going to create attraction or desire for that purpose, for that matter, sorry. When a man diverts his time from digital courtship into muscle, wealth, and social capital, he becomes scarce by construction. Okay, his very detachment activates the hindbrain of the woman, triggering fear of loss, and with it, respect. Respect is not affection. Respect is reserved for predators who may live. Perel says that in the book. Okay, so remember that respect is not affection. Many men looking for affection, but women want men that they can respect. And respect is reserved for predators who may live. I have a good friend who calls himself an apex predator. Okay, so men need to become dangerous. You need to become very, very powerful. You need to be a man that is respected by society. You need to command. You need to have what we call command presence. Don't be a meek guy who tries to simp and who tries to be nice and who tries to supplicate to women. That is actually a turn-off for most women. We're going to talk about the architecture of male value now. And here we talk about ego and boundaries. So women test boundaries, not because they're malicious, but because they're biologically wired to assess dominance. Most women who have men, they normally have, we say that hypergamy is based on doubt. And many women wonder, this man that I have, is he a real man? Is he what I think he is? Is he who he says he is? And that's why women do or perform shit tests on men. I saw a woman complaining on social media, I think it was a lawyer woman, who was saying that she has a guy who is so nice and so peaceful. She really wonders whether this guy is a man. Of course, this is a primitive way of looking at it. But the woman was saying that she was wondering, ama amtandike coffee ndiye changamke. Because the guy is just there so peaceful. She has never seen him applying any force, no form of aggression and so on. So she probably even disrespects him to see how he's going to react. But the guy only reacts with politeness. So she begins to doubt his dominance and his masculinity. Every act of appeasement or tolerance in the face of disrespect teaches her to escalate. Every boundary enforced by contract recalibrates her internal algorithm. So women need to be reminded that you are a man, and you can do this through many ways. We talk about you focusing on your purpose. We talk about you showing strength, showing respect. When other men respect you, then women also get the social cues that you are actually worthy of respect. We have what we call passive dread. When you show the woman that you also have options, then when the woman, through pre-selection, when she feels that other women actually want you, then in a sense, it actually quells or silences are hypergamous doubt, because women have hypergamous doubt. Robert Greene writes in The Art of Seduction that power is maintained through contrast. Many of us were raised thinking that when you rhyme with a woman, like everything she likes, you also like, then she's going to like you. But desire is actually maintained or created through difference, through polarity. It's not through sameness. So Robert Greene says that you do not inspire submission by appeasement. You do it by standing firm, by signaling that without words, that your commitment is conditional and your presence can be withdrawn at any moment. Breaking our ego is not cruelty, it is calibration. That's what Robert Greene says. Remember Robert Greene, the author of the 48 Laws of Power. So he looks at the dynamics in a relationship. The architecture of male value is demonstrated through power, through withdrawal of value, enforcement of boundaries, and not through appeasement. Then you're also going to look at the false sovereignty of the queen. Many women today will tell you that they want a man who treats them like a queen. And most of the times, the reason these women do this is because they know that they are not queens. So what they want is, they want absolution, either from a torrid past or from their bad behavior. And that is why they want, in a sense, it's a way of asking a man to submit to them, despite them not earning the title queen. So this is also something that the society does to erode male power and pedestalize women by being told and being reminded now and again that you need to respect women, that you need to treat women like queens. At the same time, these women are not told that they need to treat men like kings. Okay? So let's see what we say in the book. The modern queen archetype is a consumer fantasy manufactured by Instagram filters and Disney fairy tales. It promotes the lie that a woman deserves loyalty, validation, and provision simply by existing. So just because a woman has a wet crack, you're supposed to treat her like a queen. So long as she's a woman, you're supposed to respect her. That's why you'll be told, respect women. You don't respect women, okay? Many men are told that when something is off, you're told you don't respect women. You know, like it's a very bad offense, like some sort of a felony. You actually don't deserve to be in the society when you don't respect women. So a man who submits to this ideology becomes human furniture, useful and valued and replaceable. That is a man who seems or respects women just because they're existing. Respect should be earned, and it is a two-way street, okay? A woman normally earns respect by preserving her value. A man earns respect by creating his own value, because men are born without value, but women are born with value. So virtues like chastity, humility, femininity, and so on, those are the values that make women get respected. And that's why virginity was created as a very important virtue in the olden days. Of course, because of the sexual revolution, we no longer have women who are virgins at the time they are getting married. It's a very, very rare thing. In fact, society has accepted that it's a historical thing. Now we continue. For men, true polarity is restored when a man creates a world of his own. Okay? You need to create a world of your own. We normally say that a woman should be a complement to your life, not the center of it. So create your world and then she comes and enters it. She complements whatever your purpose is. So let me repeat that. True polarity is restored when a man creates a world of his own, a mission, a structure, a kingdom, and he only admits women who add cooperative, feminine, and submissive value to it. The woman should feel lucky to be chosen, not the other way around. If you feel lucky that a woman has accepted you or loved you, then you're already treating her like the prize. Women want to feel that they are the ones who've got the man who is a catch, not vice versa. If you feel that the woman you got is a prize, you're already simping and you're already occupying a weak position that does not provide the polarity that is required for desire. Okay? So that's very, very important. Many men don't understand that. Women want to be the adorers, not the adored. Okay? Now, the woman who can feel the floor drop out from under her when he walks away, will discover submission as a survival reflex. If she values you, she's going to submit to you. If she does not value you, she's not going to submit to you. Women naturally submit to men that are of higher status. That is why you'll find that even in the office, many women rush to serve the CEO with tea, to smile at him, to be very nice at him. These same women will go home to their husbands and talk back to them, be very nasty. You ask them for water, they tell you to go and get it by yourself. It's not because the women are disrespectful. It's because the women don't respect you. Women naturally respond to power by submission. Okay? So, in conclusion, how should men deal with this inversion of value? How do men survive or cope in a simp economy? Okay? So first you need to reclaim your value as a man. Okay? And when you reclaim your value, you're going to inspire cooperativeness and submissiveness from women. So first thing you need to do, withdraw unearned attention. Validation must be earned. Okay? Don't simp. Don't be so available to her. Don't be sending her messages she's not responding to. So many emojis, is liking her posts and so on. Don't do that. That is simping. And that is how you get disrespected. Number 2, build a life that makes your presence costly and your absence felt. Okay? Build a life that makes your presence costly and your absence. Be very busy. Focus on your purpose. Your purpose. I normally say that the only thing that needs to be perfect in your life as a man is your pursuit of your purpose. That is a thing that you need to pursue perfectly in terms of how you're committed to it. Single-minded focus, deadly focus. And the women will see this and they'll realize your time is valuable and you're a valuable person, and she needs to make herself valuable in order to become of priority in that scheme of things. Thirdly, assert boundaries early and enforce them consistently. You need to be able to indicate what you can tolerate and what you don't tolerate, and you need to enforce them consistently. Hopefully, if you do that early enough, that means you spell your boundaries. You won't have to assert them. Most women, once they value you, they're not going to violate your boundaries. Okay? We normally say that a woman will shit test you, but a woman who really values you is not going to shit test you. So stop negotiating with disrespect. Many men, when they're disrespected, they want to understand, why have I been disrespected? You try to question her, you try to examine yourself, and so on and so forth. Don't tolerate disrespect. If you're disrespected, just walk away. Don't chase women. You need to chase excellence. We normally say that you can lose money chasing women, but you can never lose women chasing money. Chase excellence. Become the best version of yourself, and women will come to you. I also don't moralize her nature. Engineer your own value. Don't spend time saying, oh, this is a woman. Hawa wanawake wanatukanana hivyo. Women are emotional. They can be disrespectful. No. Walk away. Enforce your value. Focus on yourself. Okay? Engineer your own value. Lastly, choose women who are feminine, cooperative, and respectful, not self-appointed queens. Once a woman wants you to treat her like a queen, that's already a red flag, okay? Because immediately she wants you to be subservient to her. She wants you to simp for her. She wants you to treat her as a prize, and that's an inversion of power, and that's an inversion of gender roles and dynamics, okay? So for women, let me say this. Submission is not an insult. It is not subjugation. It is a natural reflex of a woman in the presence of a man that she cannot afford to lose. Your role is not to argue with this truth, but to embody the kind of man who triggers it. So I normally tell women that don't love a man that you don't respect. Many women fall in love with men that they don't respect low-key for various reasons. Maybe he's weak. Maybe he's out of shape. Maybe he's a nice guy. Maybe he's not ambitious. He is not accomplished as much as you have as a woman. And then somehow you expect that you're going to respect him and love him. It doesn't work like that. Pick a man that you can respect, a man that is valuable, and it will be very easy to become submissive to that man. So that's just a chapter from the two-body problem. and I'll see you guys on the next one.